Vinyl community, I'm back to do a recent vinyl finds video, and it's been almost like 3 months since I did one, so I have a lot of records to show you. I'm kind of reorganizing my record collection down in the basement, and here I have the jazz up here, and I want to like flip them, do a prog section up here instead. So I want to shelf the recent vinyl finds, but before I do that I always show them to the community. But I think it's like 20 or 30 records. I'm gonna pass through them pretty quickly, but it's gonna be a long video. Mixed bag as usual: jazz, prog, rock, a little bit of metal, I think. So here we go. Playing in the background is Blast Furnace, a Danish progressive rock band from 1972. I think it was originally released. This Record Store Day. 500 copies maybe, or 1,000 on green vinyl. If you like that kind of Scandinavian progressive rock, that's a very good choice. It's a little bit like Culpepper's Orchid, if you know them, also a Danish group. The next one, also a Record Store Day release, was Bernt Rosengrens Stockholm Blues, and this is a classic record in the Swedish jazz catalog. 500 copies on Record Store Day. This was released in 1965. Pretty expensive original copies, so I went with the re-release. I want to sponsor these releases also. I mean, I'm super glad that they release these kind of things instead of ABBA or other stuff that you can find for $10 in every thrift store out there. As I said, Culpepper's Orchid, this is the second release by them. Second Sight, 1972. I mean, this is a good progressive rock album also, but it doesn't compare to the first one, which is a masterpiece. But still a great Scandinavian prog record. Moving on, music for Saba, Dani, Tamis and Fesa. One that's also pretty rare and hard to find the original of, but they released this on Record Store Day. I don't think, it may be like 500 copies, but it's not numbered like the other ones. Really good. Okay, Tamis blend with Don Cherry's more spiritual stuff, and a little bit free. Really good. And the prog catalog, Arbete och Fritid, andra LPn, the second LP that they released. Numbered, I have number 253 out of 500, and this was released 1973 maybe, or 4. 72. A lot of good music was made in 1972. This is Scandinavian prog on the more folk traditional side. A lot of violin and stuff like that. And also Mount Everest. This was a huge one for me. I have the Mount Everest Spirit of Albert Ayler. But I picked this up on Record Store Day, 130 out of 600. 1972 also. And you have the same players, I think. Gilbert Holmström, Chris Holmström, Kjell Johansson, Jonasson, Kjell Jansson, Gunnar Pettersson. Yeah, maybe they the other one was Mount Everest as a trio. A lot of players on this one. Really good. Still looking for an original of that. I'd like to have a complete original press of the Mount Everest catalog. It's not so hard to accomplish that. And the last Record Store Day find, I had to pick up Bamboo by Dennis Wilson. The second LP that he was going to release after Pacific Ocean Blue, but it never happened. And as a matter of fact, if you have the CD deluxe version, Legacy something, and I think that Big Star had it in one of his obscure vinyl finds video, or obscure masterpiece, or whatever it was called. One of the best series of the VC ever. Missed those videos. I think the complete material, maybe some different mixes, but the complete material is on that CD. So if you got that, you don't need this. But if you don't have that, if you don't just have the Pacific Ocean Blue LP, this is an awesome complement to that. Now this is not as good. It's not a masterpiece. It's not a classic. It's just really good material. Maybe 3 songs is fantastic, and the rest is just okay or good. But as a historical music piece, if you're into Beach Boys or Dennis Wilson, obviously, or modern pop, or not modern pop, but 60s pop, I mean, it's a must-have in my opinion. So check it out. A French original press of Getting to Know You All. Compilation is the wrong word, but this is they had like jazz workshops back in the day. Still do, I guess, but that they released on vinyl. This is from 1970, recorded 1970. Come on. 69. The artwork is fantastic, and the lineup is just to die for. Lester Bowie, David Burrell, Albert Mangeldorf, Eje Thelin, Roscoe Mitchell, Joseph Jarman, Terje Rypdal, Karin Krog, Wilmer Brocker, John Sermon. Recorded live at the Baden-Baden Free Jazz Meeting, but I mean, that doesn't stop there. You have Bernt Rosengren that I showed you earlier. You have Tony Oxley, Palle Danielsson. It's just the who's who in the jazz and maybe the more freer jazz circuit on MPS Records. This was a want that I scored for a pretty decent price in perfect condition. Really glad to add that to the jazz collection, and also this Now Jazz Ramwong by the Albert Mangeldorf Quintet. His Asian spurred or influenced record from 19. Come on, I think it's from 1965. But this is a reissue from 2012 or 13. It says 13 here, but Discogs log it as 12, which is strange. This is a trifold, just like the original release, but a little bit different. I don't believe that this was on the original artwork, and nowhere to put the record. But in this case, I don't mind because I keep it on the outside. Limited to 500 copies. The original is dirt expensive, and the sound quality is fantastic. So if anyone's interested in picking up the original, try this one. I don't think that you're going to be disappointed if you're into the music and not only the collecting side of getting the original. In 1969, I just took a chance on this African Uhuru, the Freedom Drums of Africa. Picked it up for $4, I think. African music, a lot of percussion, pretty neat. And the same with a country record, Frumux, with Here to Here on Probe Records. I think this is the early 70s. I only played it once, but it's a little bit, maybe a splash of psychedelic, maybe a little bit. I have to listen to it a little bit more, but kind of my thing in the country catalog. A really good soul record, and rock record is this one, Nolan, with No Apologies. I have to see, this is from, I think this was from 72 also, or 1970 maybe, on Lizard Records. Really, as I said, really good. I don't know if you know the musicians on here. I'm not into the soul and funk bits, but check it out if you're interested. Yeah, really good, like soulful singer-songwriter record. Nothing like radio singles friendly, just really good record overall. So check it out. A second UK press on Deram Records is 10 years after Undead 1968. Second UK with the big Deram logo. Got this for $4 also. Live recording, Albert Lee is just simply magnificent on guitar on that one. Just on fire. So much energy, playing fast. So not at all a sleeper. Highly recommended. And also $4. Mind Exploding by Lucifer's Friend on Vertigo, the Spaceship label, 1976. So no swirl back in that day. I have Lucifer's Friend's first record, which I think is fantastic. This was okay, especially the last song. They moved a little bit into the more blues and rock oriented type of music in the later records that they released, but the last song on this one, see if I can get the song. Yesterday's Ideals, 6 minutes and 51 seconds, is a prog gem. So try that one out, Lucifer's Friend. $4 is a steal for that one. And I paid a little bit more for this, but I really wanted it. It's the Love Sculpture Blues Helping, the first record they released in 1968. But this is a 80s reissue on Parlophone Records, but in fantastic condition, so I couldn't leave it in the shop. This is a psychedelic pop gem with fuzzy guitars. It's really good. And Dave Edmunds, famous in the 80s with Rockpile, and that was the 70s, but Rockpile with what's his name? Fuck it. Really, and so a great solo career, but this was the first one that he released. Love Sculpture, classic. Mike Dabble on Uni Records, 1972, is mostly known for making the song, I think at least, Handbags and Glad Rags that Rod Stewart had a hit with, and also featured as the intro music for the British series The Office. Now, 1971, Rod Stewart released that, written by Mike Diabo, but he released this himself in 1972. Really good. And musicians, you have Albert Lee and Chris Spedding on guitar, Pat Donaldson, Roy Babington, I don't know, on bass. I think that's that. With the famous name dropping. Got this also for $4. This is really good. Check that out. Pop. Really good pop rock. And a good, really good jazz record is the Cecil Taylor Quartet, Looking Ahead, from 1950. Come on, Jonas. What the hell? 58, yeah. On Contemporary Records. This is the second press mono micro groove edition of this, but I just want to add this to my collection. Sounds terrific, really good. And a huge one for a while, Aurora Borealis by Sub Martinez. The second rarest Sub Martinez record. Afro Temple is the one that costs more, but I think that this is up there. It's a little bit different. It's more of a big band kind of thing. He plays with Björnbobandet, the Bear Nest band, maybe. And I think that those guys went on to do contemporary country later on. In Sweden we call it dansband. But Sab Martinez hooked up with them and did this Afro kind of a little bit big bander percussion based record. Really good, and awesome to have this in my collection on Coop Records. Not in the best condition, but I'm happy with the price I got it for. When You Were a King, White Plains. I had a White Plains record before that I actually sold because I didn't think it was good, but for $1 on Deram Records, I couldn't pass this up. And this is better than the other one I had. Just a white sleeve with some flowers on it. As I said, better record for $1. I mean, good pop rock. Another one that I've heard a lot about in the vinyl community and got for a good price is Minnie Riperton's Come to My Garden. I think that Secco Funk talked a lot about this record as one of his favorite records of all time. And Janus, this is the second US press. Got this also for a good price. So I couldn't leave it at that person's home. Had to get a hold of it. Yeah, it's good. I'm not a soul guy, but it's good, and she's got a great voice. So I have to listen to it more times. It's not, in my opinion, it's not a masterpiece because I'm not into that kind of music right now, and I can't compare it to King Crimson's first record or Blast Furnace because it's not at all the same kind of music. But yeah, you know what I mean. Swedish jazz again. Bengt Anryd Quintet and John Wallgren. This is not expensive records. You can get this for $5, maybe $10 on Dragoon Records, 1977. But it's awesome. Really, really good. Smooth jazz, piano based. And for that price, I mean, so great quality Swedish jazz for not that much. It's funny how you stumble onto a group or an artist when you're thinking of it. And I played Space Ritual with Hawkwind a couple of months ago and started thinking that maybe I should try to get some of the studio material, the earlier stuff by Hawkwind. And one day I go into a store and find a couple. This one I bought online for $10. Hawkwind, the first UK press on Liberty. Yeah, really, really good. Space rock. And I also got this one, Hall of the Mountain Grill, 1974. And then also Warrior of the Edge of Time, 1975. Those two I got in a store, so kind of cool. And both of those are second US presses or UK. It's kind of funny just stumble onto 3 records in maybe 2 weeks time when you're thinking of getting them. Just a few more. Spirit, Motel 6. The Family That Plays Together is the name of the record. I've only played once. Spirit is I mean, yeah, good old rock and roll, but yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna sell my Spirit collection one day. This was awesome used find. Kvintetten som sprängdes järnet. Really, really good. One of the players here, Niklas Persson, is playing on Anders record. Awesome free jazz. Really, really good. 2000 and maybe 15. And I also got The Confessions of Dr. Dream and Other Stories by Kevin Ayers. Also one I have to listen to a little bit more, but this is the first UK press of that I got for like $10. And the last one, and this is, I mean, I couldn't leave it, and I hate this hobby, but I found a very early UK press of Black Sabbath's Paranoid. It's not a first, I don't think it's a second, but I think it's a third UK press on the magical Virgo Swirl. So now I have an Italian first press, or French. I have a reissue on NEMS Records, and a second or third UK press of this. So 2 swirl and 1 original NEMS. Do I need 3 copies of Black Sabbath's Paranoid? I'm not gonna sell it. I got it for a great price. So yeah, I guess I need 3 copies. I'm an idiot. Thank you so much for watching. Please comment if you have any questions, because it was a lot of records on a pretty short time, 20 minutes. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.